They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think that's the expression. Is that the expression? Is it, or is it time away makes the heart grow fonder, time apart makes... Fuck it. You know what I mean. Okay? Whatever. Anyway, it's been a while since I've done a bad sex stories episode, so I figured today, being Friday, the end of the week, why not, huh? Let's make some people feel better about their own sex lives by talking about other people's really bad sex lives. Let's get started, shall we? I hooked up with this very sweet guy, but after some pretty alright sex, he started talking about how he once had to have a catheter in, and how sexy it was, and how much he liked it. And then he asked me if I knew what sounding was, and then he pulled out a little case of sounding rods and a giant bottle of lube, and asked me if I wanted to do it to him or just watch. So I watched. It was not at all arousing, but it was legitimately fascinating to see how it worked, and he seemed to really enjoy it. But that was the last time we hooked up because the idea of sticking a metal rod up a man's penis makes my genitals worried. Well, I'm glad for her sake she found at least one thing fascinating. Aroused? The guy was aroused by sticking a metal rod in your I mean, that's one way to keep it hard, I guess. I mean... My dick hurts just thinking about it. Ah, fuck. Oh. Ouch. That guy's fucked. I mean... I don't know what to say. He was turned on when he had a catheter put in. I'm reading it here. I have to read it over because... Once how sexy it was to have a catheter. Catheters aren't sexy. That's some gross shit. I mean, I know people have their different things, but holy fuck. I mean, I'm sure everyone out there who's been to a sex store has seen those, when you go down certain aisles or whatever, you'll see like the fetish stuff, like the paddles, the whips, and like the cock rings and dildos and all that stuff. Then you get into the real hardcore heavy shit, which is like the little steel things you can put up your dick hole. Some of them you can actually zap. Like you put it in your dick and you have like this button and you... Again, I understand there's some weird kinks out there and whatever, but... Fuck. Oh, God, I'm gonna go ice down my dick. It hurt just reading that fucking story. I was hooking up with a girl on her living room couch, and we were starting to move towards her bedroom when she asked if it was okay for her friends to watch us. I was really horny, so I said yes, and she opened the door to reveal wall-to-wall stuffed animals. She even introduced me to a few of them first. But the weirdest part of all was when, during some very awkward sex, she pulled out a cat hand puppet and jerked me off with it. I got a puppet blowjob. Well, I think it's safe to say after this story that this lady here, if there were still institutions, she'd probably be in one. And I'm pretty sure she has a psychiatrist on speed dial. I mean, when you're introducing your boyfriend to your collection of puppets and stuffed animals, you know what? Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. I apologize if she's watching this. I doubt very much she is because... Well, not a lot of people watch these anyway. I just kind of hurt my own feelings there. I'm going to go cry. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I shouldn't be so mean. Maybe she's like the other guy, just has some weird kinks. And even though this is kind of a weird kink, it's still not as weird as Mr. Metal Rod up the pee hole. Like, what the fuck is wrong? That still astonishes me. That's still kind of disturbing. I'm not gonna lie. Getting a blowjob from a stuffed puppet is, but at least you can, at least there's a bit of humor to it. You could say that the stuffed puppet, like it was a cat apparently, in according to the story. You could say it was Garfield, like she pulled out a Garfield puppet and Garfield gave you a blowjob. That would be kind of funny. Kind of. I mean, it would make the story a little more. No, the story would still be actually very fucking weird. Sometimes I don't know why I read these stories, to be honest. They're so fucking weird, and then I have trouble sleeping because then I'm thinking about things like Garfield going down on somebody, and I don't know. Might as well go to another one. I was having sex with the girl I was dating when she started to go down on me under the blanket that was on my lap. Well, I felt what I thought was my phone cable on top of my legs, so I grabbed it. But when I yanked it out, she screamed. Turns out I had ripped her headphones out of her ears, and she was watching and listening to a blowjob tutorial on her phone. You know what? Good on her. I mean, yeah, kind of, I'm sure it spooked her having the headphones ripped out of her ears. It would hurt. It would suck. But credit to her for wanting to learn. I mean, not enough people are willing to just sit down and learn. Now, mind you, she decided to do that in the middle of sex and tried to learn how to give a blowjob just literally before giving a blowjob. So her timing might be a little iffy, but I mean, credit where credit's due. She wants to learn. She wants to learn to please. We should all be that. We should all be like that. That makes perfect sense. I mean, to pick a better time. I mean, if you want to learn a different sex position and, research it, you don't do it while you're in the middle of doing it. You know what I mean? Timing's everything. But credit to her, and thankfully this one didn't involve, puppet blowjobs or metal rods, or thankfully this one's a hell of a lot more normal by comparison. But let's see how we close out with this next story, shall we? 23-year-old Fresno State University student has admitted to engaging in a sex act with a sheep after being caught in his California campus barn with an iwi. The young man, who was studying computer engineering, told authorities that he had sex with the animal because he was stressed about exams. According to ABC7, the student was caught in the act when another college-goer heard a noise coming from the agricultural department's barn in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Oh my god. What the fuck? Wow, I didn't think it could get any weirder than the first story. But, congratulations. This guy just fucking won. Oh, I get school can be stressful. I get that. And you need a bit of stress relief. But sheep aren't meant for stress relief. They're meant to, shave and make wool out of and have sex with other sheep or whatever. They're not made for sexual release of humans. I shouldn't even have to say that. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? You're stressed. Okay, you need a release. You need something to calm you down. Call a hooker. Call an escort service. Go to the strip club. Beat off in an alley somewhere. Even though that's still kind of gross, that's a lot better of a stress relief idea than fucking a sheep. What is wrong? Man, I've been to college twice, actually. And I get it. It can be kind of stressful. But you know how I dealt with the stress? It didn't involve fucking an animal. It didn't involve, fucking anything, to be honest with you, because throughout college I didn't get any. It's actually kind of a sad story. Maybe this guy wasn't getting any either, but you crank it. Watch a porn. Buy a fucking blow-up doll or something. That's not desirable. You don't want to get caught fucking that either. But now you're going to have to... this guy is going to need to get tested for a lot. He did fuck a sheep, so who the fuck knows what he might have contracted. He might have gotten, sheep AIDS or fucking sheep chlamydia or what, wool burn or something like that. But... what's going on, bud? What was he taking, a hallucinogen or something? And thought the sheep was a sexy woman wearing a wool coat? I don't know anymore, people. I'm just going to stop telling stories for now. So, thank you again for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. This has been Isolated Pastimes. I almost forgot the name. And I'm Brock Burley. We shall see you soon. Stay safe.